Hello, I'm Greg Chumley, President of Printelligence Consulting, and I'm interviewing Tom Polito, Manager of Print Services for Atlantic Health System, about how they're using EFI's Fiery Freeform Create variable data printing application. Atlantic Health System is a New Jersey-based nonprofit organization committed to designing and delivering high-quality, innovative, and personalized healthcare to build healthier communities and improve lives for patients, consumers, and caregivers. Tom's 8-employee implant provides print-oriented services for the 5 hospitals and over 300 physician offices supported by Atlantic Health. So, Tom, I know that you've been working to incorporate workflow enhancement software into your operation. Why don't you start by quickly sharing where you're at with this before we get into variable data printing and freeform create?
Right, yeah, we were real basic when we started. So, as you know from the automation webinar that we did, really jumped in both feet into using EFI's automation tools that are out there, whether it's Impose, Compose, Job Master, Job Flow, and have really pretty much completely automated our workflow from order entry and from Market Direct storefront all the way down, pushing those files to our digital front ends. So the one thing we didn't haven't done a lot of is variable data. Now we do have variable data products, business cards and memo pads and products of those, but we never really got into things like direct mail and those types of variable data products.
Thanks. So, how did you get started with variable data printing and what have you done with it?
We were printing a postcard, and then somebody just happened to ask the question one day, hey, can you address it for us also? They were probably behind their deadline. They needed to probably get it out right away, and they didn't want to have to spend the additional time addressing the stuff. And it just happened that I'm sure it was an email that I got from EFI that they launched this Freeform Create program, and it, right place at the right time type thing. So if you know me at all, I always bite off a little more than I should chew. And I said, sure, we can do that. Never using Freeform Create in my life. So I said, send me the PDF of the card and your Excel spreadsheet with all your addresses, and we'll take it from there. We'll ship back all your postcards to you, and you just bring it to the post office, and we're done. So that's more or less what we did. We downloaded Freeform Create, uploaded the PDF, imported the spreadsheet for the addressing, did the drag and drop for the address and the position, played with it a little bit just to make sure it was, in the right position for postal regulations and things like that. And then exported it down to the digital front end, imposed it, and output it. And they loved it. So we don't do it on an everyday basis, but we, fairly regularly, and it's mostly for direct mail postcards. But we have done it a handful of times for envelope addressing, also for one of the foundations that does a mailing to their donor base several times a year. And they send them a big package of, a booklet, a letter that goes into a, larger envelope. So we have used it in that application also. We have not got into some of the things that I know that you can do where you're replacing, images and things like that. Most of the variable data has been kind of basic and mainly in the addressing arena is what we have done.
And as I understand it, Freeform Create is free to Fiery users, so there wasn't a lot of investment risk, right?
No, if anything, it pretty much was zero.
Now that you offer VDP services, how do Atlantic Health's departments and offices order this type of work?
The end of 2019 is probably when we first used it. And after we did it a few times and people, were becoming aware of that we were doing it, I added it as a product in digital storefront. Before that, I was making everybody just email me the final PDF and their spreadsheet with their addressing. So now we actually have an ad hoc product in our custom printing area that is, direct mail postcard section. So they can just go in there, upload their PDF, upload their Excel file, and the product comes over to us automatically. So we've already automated the use of it.
Cool. Where do you see this going, and what kinds of new work do you think this could bring in-house?
My goal has always been to be able to bring more things into the print shop that we can do in-house, so that at the end of the day, we're saving Atlantic Health as much money as I possibly can. And I think with the variable data and being able to change wording and imaging on a postcard or whatever we want to do would be very advantageous to marketing and their advertising and all that type of stuff they do. And we have over, I believe it's over 300 physician offices now that they could do custom mailings for them if they want to target people in their community, or whatever they want to try to promote or whatever they're trying to do. It would be a great tool for us to do that in-house, and like you said, save a lot of money. Because a lot of the stuff they design themselves. I know they do go outside and use outside designers, but they have 2 or 3 full-time graphic designers in the marketing department here. So, they do have the resources to do a lot of it.
The things I find unique about Freeform Create are that anyone can download and use the app to personalize and target PDF mailings without needing a fiery server. And as you shared, it's easy to use with no training. Have you considered suggesting your marketing department use it?
Right. It's always nice that if you have an end user or a customer, if you're more a commercial application, they can download the application, do what they want to do, and then just give you the final Freeform Create file, and you can print it. So you kind of have the best of both worlds. If you have a person that wants that control and has the knowledge of how to do it, they could do it themselves. Or if you have the person that only knows what they want the end product to be, and you can do it all yourself. So it gives you a lot of flexibility, to either, any way you want to handle the project.
Now, creating targeted mailings might become a powerful new marketing tool for your associations and physicians, but addressing mailings isn't new. How did you and your customers do this before?
Well, we would print the postcards for them, and then they would have somebody address them. Either they labeled them, or they gave them to their mail house sometimes, or sometimes they just gave them to a mail house, and the mail house printed it and did all that. So it was kind of a little combination of things.
And are they happy that you're offering this in-house?
Of course, they love me.
Okay, besides their love for you, are there real, measurable impacts of you offering these services to Atlantic Health?
Well, I don't know if the impact would be to us. The impact would be more, I think, to the end user, because it was something that they were paying for with using an outside vendor, where now they're coming in-house and doing it, and it's not costing them anything additional because it's not charged directly to their cost center. So they're the ones that are saving the money as well overall as the health system would be, because at the end of the day, they're not going to an outside vendor to get a mailing done. They're, using us to do it, and there's no direct cost to them. So, if they were doing 1,000-piece mailing and it cost them $500, that's $500 now that they didn't have to spend directly out of their budget, that they could allocate to do something else to raise money in the case of the foundation, or if it's a different department that, maybe do some other sort of promotional advertising thing that they would be able to do. So they're really getting more out of their budget because it's money that we were able to save them.
Thank you for sharing your experiences, Tom. I hope we can chat again about this next year because I suspect you're going to be coming up with all sorts of innovative uses for this technology in the near future.